Just hit the live button. So we should be going live here any second now. And got it. Post. Ladies and gentlemen, Rex Bear Leak Project. How the heck are you? Thank you very much for joining us this edition. We have Gail Angeles with us today from Rainbow Food Rocks. Check her out on YouTube. Also check out one of the best cookbooks, if not the best cookbook I have ever seen. And it's even got vegan like foods. Vegan food. I thought, okay, it's vegan free, it's gluten free, but is it taste free? No, it's not taste free. But I did have a taste free bar the other day that was supposed to be a peanut bar, and it was supposed to be really good for me, but I couldn't taste it. And ladies and gentlemen, one of the cool things about Gail is her personal testimony. She literally went through hell and back to heal herself and heal her family. And she did it through natural means. Absolutely incredible. She's going to give her testimony, and she's going to talk about these oils that she has that come from India. Is that right, Gail?
Yes, almost all of them come from India except for 4 of them. And that's because tea tree is almost always from Australia. Otherwise, I'd really question that. And then the citrus is from Italy. So lemon, bergamot, and sweet orange are from Italy.
Nice. Let's talk about it. I want you to share your testimony with people that might not have heard of you before. You know, we get a lot of new listeners here at Leak Project.
Certainly, yes.
Pretty intense, folks.
An extended version that people can listen to also from about a year and a half ago on your YouTube and mine, just so people know. But I'll give the abridged version here. So what it was is that my oldest daughter in 2015 was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder and ADHD. And my youngest daughter was having pain in her legs and in her hips and especially in her feet, and was unable to progress so that she could walk. And my son was breaking out what appeared to be a wheat allergy. And he was having some of the Gerber baby foods, which I hadn't done with my other children, but I was watching lots of children and it made sense to try that out. And so I was seeing all of this at once and trying to figure out, like, oh my gosh, what do I do naturally to help my children? And at that same time, I also started getting very unwell and sick and having weird pains in my body, which I'll go into. So just to kind of, because there's a really long version of it, but just to kind of shorten it so that people can get the gist of it, is that I was experimenting with taking out certain foods, and I was also consulting a naturopathic physician, so a naturopathic doctor, and she happened to be my midwife too. I had home births. And I also was going to the Seattle Children's Autism Center, and they were documenting what I was doing and what they were doing for my oldest daughter. And so my naturopathic doctor said to me, why don't you try taking out wheat and dairy? Those are the top 2 things that I hear about, but you know, there's only anecdotal. Nobody really has any studies on this. And so I said, well, what do you think? And she said, well, try taking out dairy. And so I took out dairy, and actually, just to backtrack a little bit, I watched my daughter as she was saying take out dairy, eating Tillamook cheeses, and my daughter was getting worse and worse with her symptoms as she was eating the cheese in the doctor's office. And so I had just noticed and went, oh my gosh, could it really be that the moment it touches her mouth, she reacts? And sure enough, I mean, digestion starts in the mouth with amylase breaking things down. So then I was like, okay, let's try this out. So it was a real struggle to take out dairy. I mean, most Americans have dairy in almost everything, unless you happen to be vegan. So it was a really tricky thing. And I come from an Italian-American background growing up in New York on Long Island. So taking out the dairy means no cannolis and no ricotta and all those things that we love to eat. So that was a bit of a challenge.
That sucks.
Yeah. So taking that out of the diet, I saw within like 2 weeks, maybe even less, that my daughter was getting 25% better. And then my youngest daughter, she started doing this a little bit later on, and I'll get into that also. And then eventually I moved on with my son, but just going back to my oldest daughter. So taking the dairy out gets 25% better. So then I was like, wow, well, what happens if I take out the wheat? So decided to take out the wheat, and just there were a lot of struggles within the household of doing all of this, just so people know it's not like easy peasy. You got family members that don't agree with you and all kinds of things. Lots of people that will disagree with you for doing something like this. So I took out wheat, and then I realized I made the mistake of substituting corn, and corn turned out to be even worse than wheat. And my oldest daughter, her name is Abigail, she got 50% better when I took out the wheat, and also realized that the corn was a problem. And this is where like the journey really begins, because those two things alone were like, okay, if my daughter could naturally get 50% better just from removing these foods, A, what's going on with the food, and why were these foods causing a problem? And like, B, what else could I do to help my children? And so I started reading like ad infinitum, every book I could about people with their anecdotal stories. And I started noticing the pattern of people saying, you know, this food has something going on with it, and this food has something going on with it. So started taking out some other food items. And the top ones, just to kind of summarize for people to know, are wheat, gluten, dairy, corn, soy, and eggs. And eggs I figured out the very last. So I'm going to just kind of fast forward, because I could go into a lot more detail, but I know we want to get into some other things. So just kind of fast forwarding, I wind up applying this to my youngest daughter. And for her, I did an IgG food sensitivity test, and that test showed that eggs were a problem. So my youngest daughter, who had been going through physical therapy and was having a growth delay and was having, when I finally took out the eggs, on top of taking out the wheat and the dairy and the corn and the soy and all of that I go into briefly in my book about, my youngest daughter, she was starting to be able to progress to walk, which was amazing, and the pain went away. And then my son, who kept breaking out, he was having staph infections on his hands. I took out the Gerber food, which had the wheat and the corn and a lot of those like little treats and Gerber packaged stuff and those little puffs and everything that people, you know, think is so cute. And it sounds so cute. Oh, let's get the cute little puffs. But unfortunately, it has things in it that aren't good for them. And it's because what's been done to the food. I want to just state that also. I mean, food is supposed to be to nurture us, but what's being done to the food with the chemicalization and the GMO and the changing and we can go on an energetic level of how it's being processed and such, is causing a problem for a lot of people, not just kids, but people in general. And I see that as manifesting to different illnesses. Anyhow, going back to what I was talking about is, so I get all those things. The IgG food sensitivity test, by the way, not just showed that my youngest daughter needs to take out eggs, but it also showed that all the other foods that I had taken out recently were still causing inflammation in the body. It's so much so that it showed up on that sensitivity test. So I applied that to my oldest daughter. Her name is Abigail again, just to remind everyone. And she, when I did the IgG food sensitivity test, it showed that those food items that I took out one by one, and I did it slowly and documented everything, and also had the physician overlooking, just in case anyone was wondering, that those items were actually causing inflammation in her body. So to me, it was like a no-brainer, like, oh my gosh, well, now I see why she was reacting. And she was having these different, you know, the hands and the drooling and the moaning and all of that was a reaction to these foods. They were causing inflammation in her body. And then she was reacting. And then that was getting her the diagnosis of the autism spectrum disorder and the ADHD, because she was going crazy from this in her body as a little girl. She was only, I think, at that time, 4 years old. And my youngest daughter was around like a year and a half, and then eventually like 2 during this time. And my son was like, I think 6 months or 9 months old. So they were all really young. So while I was trying to heal my kids, I started having problems, and I was attributing it to the stress. So most people that have heard this story think, oh, well, she was stressed out because she was trying to heal her kids, and there was all these challenges, or we call them opportunities, that she had to face. But what also happened was I'm pretty sure that I had mercury leaked into my body, so it's kind of poisoned. I laugh it off, but it's not really funny.
And that was from a filling in your tooth, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was from 2 fillings that got redone, yes, and they weren't done properly. And I didn't realize that until later on. So I just attribute everything to the stress, but it was so weird that friends of mine were saying like, no, you were poisoned. And I couldn't quite figure out, make that connection. Like, how was I poisoned? Was I really poisoned? And so what happened for me, and I'll just go over briefly, is like my ankles turned purple. I had varicose veins develop. My calves turned rock hard. My hips started hurting. I got one hip, like my hip got out of alignment. My shoulder got lifted. My spine became like, I was told I had a permanent deformation, but I have done such a great job that it's not a permanent deformation anymore, by using different things, food and yoga and so on and so forth. I can go into that in a moment. So what I'm getting at is that I started, like I was just saying with the food, I started using food first because I was already doing it with my kids and I had a model for my kids, but that didn't seem to be enough. And so that's where I started adding extra layers, including the essential oils that I'm sure we'll want to talk about, where I was trying to figure out, like, how can I do this naturally? And I started doing certain supplements, and I have a list of like the key supplements I've done. And in my recipe book, which you can see right here, I have what's called the super energizing detox smoothie, which you, Rex, have tried. And
yeah, so let me just give a testimony on that detox
sure.
CBT, or super smoothie. It is awesome, amazing. Like, I remember meeting up with you in Arizona, and then we hiked Superstition Mountains. And the night before, I didn't sleep well at all. I didn't feel well at all. I ate something that didn't settle right with my stomach, and I was literally throwing up before I met with you. And then I was like, then I had that smoothie, and I was like, how long was that hike? 10 plus hours? That was crazy. Like blood all over my legs from walking through thorns. That was awesome. Yeah, that smoothie,
that was a great
rocking. That was rad.
Thank you. I also made you a little tincture thing too with certain key supplements that I use. So I remember you drank that as well.
It worked for me. Yeah, that was great. And you know, one of the cool things I like about your cookbook is your food does taste great, and it also has like a purpose. Like each recipe you have has a specific purpose for it. It's not just taste great. It's also whatever you did, however you came up with all this and put it together in one book. I find it fascinating. Maybe it has something to do with that spiritual journey you shared with me as well.
Yes, and so just going into the book, I mean, everything is interwoven so that it all works together. Sorry. And there are bases, and then you can apply those bases to all the different recipes, and there are different variations. So if someone can't do one way, they can do another way. And so I have many different options, and yet I still keep it so that it's all wheat-free, dairy-free, corn-free, soy-free, egg-free, gluten-free. It's also peanut-free, yeast-free, low sugar. I mean, if there's any sugar, it's coconut sugar or honey. For the non-vegans, there's another option for maple syrup for the vegans. But yeah, it's vegan compliant, it's plant-based. I mean, I tried to just get something that everyone could apply. And then one of the meals you tried after Superstition was my quinoa bowl. And I actually
delicious.
Thank you.
Although if you're dehydrated,
you had cotton mouth.
Oh my gosh, I had such bad cotton mouth when I ate it because we had very little water, and it was a 10 plus hour hike in major sun, and so it's
we gave our water. We gave our water away. Remember?
We gave our water.
And we had boons. We got boons for doing that. Do you remember, Rex?
Yeah, because then when we were lost and it was late and like there's cliffs on every side, and then there's these people that are below us and they've got flashlights, and you were like, can we watch you walk up? So we were able to watch them walk up and get the path. But yeah, those quinoa bowls are awesome. I'm just going to recommend if you have super bad cotton mouth where the top of your mouth is like sandpaper, drink some water first because it's got so much taste and so much spice. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And then I had it again when I wasn't dehydrated, and it didn't leave that. It was great. I thought it was awesome. But you're able to eat those quinoa bowls like a freaking beast.
I can eat. I mean, you witnessed me. Like, people look at me and they're like, wow, you know, she's so skinny, and the diet, oh, she must not eat much. And it's like, no, I can eat.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing, is you got your metabolism so high. I think a lot of it might have to do with what you're eating as well, right? Your body's constantly burning fuel. And that seems pretty healthy to me.
And I'm detoxing too, because I'm throwing in little things here and there that naturally will help detox. Like I put a lot of cilantro in things, or dulse that pulls out heavy metals, which in my case was really necessary. And I do, like in that super smoothie you had, I have similar ingredients, almost like your Boomer Boost. You can actually take your Boomer Boost and probably put it in my super energizing detox smoothie, and it would be an easier way to get the barley in and the wheatgrass in and all of that, those wheatgrass juices and
Nice.
such, which can be really healing. So especially if someone has, I mean, I'm not giving medical advice or anything like that, but I'm just saying if someone happens to have cancer, for instance, when you research, you see a lot of people go straight for the wheatgrass juice and the barley grass juice and do a lot of that. So that can be helpful for a lot of different ailments.
Now, I want to talk about your oils, and you've got these oils that they're pure, they're unadulterated, they're undiluted, they're food grade, and they're only touched by yogis.
Yes. So Chris is the one in between the farm and me, and he actually studied under Sadhguru, and he is a yogi and he has a practice, and normally under normal world situations he would be taking people in and teaching them and such. And so he is bottling them and he's getting them directly from the Sarga Organic Farms. Now, my stuff does not say certified organic. I'm a small potato. I'm not going to go through all the trouble right now of doing all that, but that's the source. So we know that this is a clean source. And I use these oils for everything. Like just in my morning routine this morning, I use so many different things. I can even show you. This is kind of cute. Okay, so this one happened. It's so hot here in my bedroom. I don't have AC in here, so I'm sweating. So it melted, but this is normally my cream for my legs, which has 3 different oils in it. It has lavender and tea tree. And what is this? You're going like this? Don't show that.
No, I had something. I was itching.
I thought you were like, whoa, TMI.
No, not at all. I was just, please continue.
And then my toothpaste, I make my own toothpaste. And I put my essential oils in here. And then just to show you, like as a carrier oil, this is my jojoba oil. And then I'll mix this on the spot with different things as needed. And I make my own hand soap. I put essential oils in it, so, and then my own shampoo. And I even make my own facial toner. And so I can show you, this is kind of cute. So every morning I spray myself with rose hydrosol and sandalwood hydrosol. I'm just going to do it just for fun. Maybe those that can see auras can see it change. But this is super high vibrational. It's great right before meditation to use the sandalwood hydrosol, which is right here. This also shows people, the bottle. This is 100 milliliter. And then I also have smaller ones that are 10 milliliters. So this, for example, is the German chamomile. I just got some new products. The new ones are German chamomile and rosemary and cinnamon leaf. And so I've been trying to promote those as well. And
is all of this available on your website? Like
on my website,
everything?
Do you have the ability to pull up the rainbowherbals.com so people can see what that looks like? If not, you can share.
Stand by. I'll get it right now. Absolutely.
Okay, cool. And if we have any questions from anyone, I'm happy to answer questions too. So I see that you're on your live website.
Is this it right here?
Yeah. So then you just press shop.
And then you've got essential oils, hydrosols and sprays, carrier oils, your digital books, and then your different services that you offer.
Correct. I have other services I offer too.
Okay. Awesome. Now you do yoga.
I do yoga. I have a yoga class coming up on September 11th. So 9/11, I know, what a day. And I have a few people already registered. So if other people are still interested, they can still register. And that is from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Arizona time, again on September 11th. So they can just go into the store, like the services part, and click there. They can also sign up for my coaching, my wellness consulting, and my Reiki services. So I do energy work as well. And then you can see some of the pictures. And this is actually all my own artwork, and I do all my own pictures. So I don't actually go get stock photos like a lot of people do. I mean, these are all from me. And you've actually seen some of these too. So you can attest that, like, oh, these are Gail originals.
Yeah. Yeah, this one reminds me of Shiprock that's in the center there.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
That's a new one. I did that last year on my birthday on August. Well, not
Nice.
birthday, but in August.
Right on. Okay. We have a Leo, ladies and gentlemen.
We
And
have a Leo and our birthday's coming up.
right on, right on. Well, happy early birthday. And so the yoga class, if someone wants to sign up for this, they just basically they go to the website, they sign up, it's $10 and it's via Zoom.
Yeah, and that's an amazing thing too, because anyone from anywhere can sign up. And I was trained on how to do it on Zoom specifically because of the world situation we're in. And I think that's a blessing, even though at first I thought it was a real nuisance, because we're seeing that this need is there right now as people, most likely don't want to have something over their face while they're trying to do yoga. So this allows them the freedom to do it in their home and be comfortable. And so I think it's
right. Now you're like you've got several certificates and grades of yoga, right? Like you've gone through basically special forces training for yogas.
I'm Ananda worldwide trained, so I have many different things. I've done the Raja and Hatha yoga course, and I've taken it twice. And I have my official YTT certificate, so I am recognized by the Yoga Alliance. You can actually see that certificate way up high, right back there. It's hanging up there. And I have many other certificates too. I'm actually certified for the life coaching for basic all the way up to advanced. And for the consulting, I mean, I am the walking certificate for health and wellness consulting because I've gone through so much with my own family, myself, and many other people. And then I combine a lot of my energy work with that.
Right on, right on. And I'm looking at the different oils you have, and I was hoping you could tell us a little bit about some of them. So what's bergamot essential oil?
So bergamot is really awesome for inflammation, and it's kind of like a citrus. And a lot of people, that one's from Italy too. I'll just reiterate. And I usually use it like if I have some kind of stomach issue, I'll just kind of rub it over my stomach. Otherwise, I'll diffuse it for just the smell and the upliftment. Another one that I just got in is that blue or German chamomile. That one's really great for if you have wrinkles. So I've been using that to put like on my face in the morning because I'm getting older.
Yeah, that does happen to some people.
I'm going to go through my list of oils since we're talking about it. So I also have cedarwood, which I use for making my own shampoo. So you can see my hair is pretty like poofy. So I take the cedarwood and it helps thicken and fluff up the hair. And then it smells great. And I use it also for my scorpion repellent. And I don't have it in the shop, but I do actually locally make a scorpion repellent. And so if someone's interested in that,
I wish I had some of that a while ago.
The first show that we did.
Oh, wait, that's right. I brought it up then too, didn't I?
Yes, did you remember? And you said, does it work on Scorpios? And I was like, I heard you, but then I thought, did he really say that? And then I was like, wait, did you say Scorpios? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I was trying to forget. Cedarwood. Yes, cedarwood sounds like it's used for all sorts of cool stuff. I mean, it looks like people have used it for everything from skin to inflammation to
psoriasis, coughs, congestion. I mean, all of these can be used in so many different ways. Going down, like we could just go alphabetical, but I also have cinnamon leaf, which I use to make my toothpaste that I showed earlier.
Ah, okay. You add extra fluoride in that, right?
Oh gosh, fluoride.
Extra fluoride.
Extra fluoride.
Yeah, extra fluoride and mercury.
Actually, I use bentonite clay, liquid bentonite clay. There's a hint for everyone with coconut oil, and then I use my essential oils.
Nice.
And I had the recipe up on my channel, but I took it down because I'm going to refine it to something really exact and use it for another purpose.
Hello.
So eucalyptus is also one I carry in my store. And that one is really great for if people are having something going on with their chest and congestion and maybe some breathing issues. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not giving medical advice. I'm just kind of hinting that could be very useful. Also, I have, I'm kind of going out of order, but I also have, what is it? That's really great. A lot of people are talking about pine. So I have an oil made out of pine cones. So I just want to mention too, and on this channel, I'm not going to say what that is, but for those that follow you, they probably will get the hint.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I have a lot of food grade ones. I mean, they're all food grade, the ones that people would actually use in their food, like the ginger, you can put directly like down your throat if you're having a sore throat. And for me, it makes me feel better. So I can legally say that. And then same with my lemon oil. And you could put the lemon and the ginger in your water. I like to do this in the morning and just, put them in and drink it. That's really great. Ginger actually tastes wonderful in chocolate. So when I make my own chocolates, I'll take like huge gems and I'll go ahead and melt them down and I'll put a different oil in each one. So I'll do like one ginger, one lavender, one, I'll even use my rose hydrosol and my sandalwood hydrosol, one like rose or rose sandalwood mixed. I'll do one sweet orange. Sweet orange tastes so good with chocolate. So that kind of gives people an idea of some other ways to use them. And then
now let me ask a question also, because there's so many things on the, like the bullet points that these oils are used for, and a lot of stuff you're not mentioning. So if people go to your website, can they look through and see the difference? Like for example, cinnamon leaf, there was a lot of stuff you left out there. It enhances the activity of other oils. But then there was this other one that I saw. Where did it go?
Never the aphrodisiacs too.
Yeah. Yeah. That was
like the rose.
Yeah, that's the one. So, I mean, these are also great for other things too.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's so many different ways to use patchouli. Was one that it took me a while to get used to patchouli, because in America, patchouli is just kind of, it has a certain association, but it also just doesn't smell the way mine does. So when I got the patchouli, I was like, how am I going to use patchouli? I'm like, I'm not a patchouli person. And I'm loving it now, like just loving it. And it also tones up the skin. So like if you're worried about maybe stretch marks or getting wrinkles or like flabby skin as you get older, you can rub the patchouli on your belly or on your arms. So that's just another idea for people. I'm kind of saying a lot of how I use them, but there are so many different ways to use them. And Rex, now that you mention it, I will put all these bullet points on the store. Right now, there are some, but there aren't all of them. So
I mean, you might as well, because people are going to, it's just more information for people to know about, and knowledge is key. So
yeah, knowledge is power, right?
Yeah, absolutely it is. And I'm looking at you've got lavender oil, you've got the ginger, you've got frankincense oil.
Yes, I want to mention something about the lavender. Sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
It's really great for if you have a child with autism spectrum disorder, ADHD. That is another way. So say the food is just overwhelming for you to start with. You can start with incorporating certain oils like the lavender oil. And also it helps to get a good night's rest. You can combine the lavender with the patchouli, for instance, and it just like makes kids fall asleep from what I've observed. I think I can say it that way. And again, what else did you want to say, Rex?
Oh yeah. So what about the lemon essential oil?
So lemon, I mean, it's food grade. I can use it actually in my lemon lime balls. So tying that back into food. So this recipe book has a few recipes that I use essential oils in. My next one, I'm working on a dessert book for the holidays. And that one, I'm going to have even more oils, but you can use
your cookies are awesome, by the way. Like your,
oh, thank you.
Are they called rainbow cookies? Or what are those called?
Oh, yeah, I have the rainbow. That's in the future book. You have the you got to sample them before.
Yeah, those are delicious.
Mm-hmm. And I make
they're everything free but taste free.
Oh, I'm a certified home baker for Arizona. So in Arizona State, I can sell them. Thank you for saying that too. So they are made with almond, and the original one had an almond paste, but it had a lot of cane sugar and some extra things in there. I think like citric acid, which is from corn and such. And so these are almond, and then the jellies don't even have any added sugar. They're just sweetened from like apple juice and such. And so I cover it up in a Hue chocolate, which I prefer Hue chocolate because it's not only organic, but it only uses coconut sugar to sweeten, whereas a lot of other ones use like cane sugar or something else that I don't think is a great idea. And so, yeah, they're magnificent. So that's going to be, and actually, for those that are listening, that's going to be on the cover of the future book is going to be a rainbow cookie cake.
Nice. Yeah, right on.
Yeah, I already got the picture taken.
What's jojoba?
Jojoba. Yeah.
That's
So
what I said.
it's jojoba. It's jojoba. So that's this carrier oil that I was mentioning. So this is fantastic if you just want a quick way, and you could even just use this plain. So in the morning, like if I'm in a rush, I'll just take one of my droppers and I'll just put it on my arms because it's the same as like what your skin would excrete. So if you have really dry skin, especially here in Arizona with the heat, and sometimes it's really dry, you can put that on, or you can mix it with something else. Most of the oils that I sell do not require a carrier oil. But if you want to still thin it out more, if you want to make it into a roller and roll it on, you can use this jojoba oil.
Neem oil.
Ah, neem. One moment, I need some water. So neem was another one that I was like, okay, it's really popular in India to use it for toothpaste. So I do put it in my toothpaste, my homemade toothpaste. But what I found was amazing. It's my youngest daughter. She had a rash on her arm here ever since we moved here. And I tried all these different things and I couldn't get that rash to go away. And I mean, she's eating compliant and everything. And I just couldn't figure it out. So I took the neem oil, and this was just within the last month. And I put it on there, and within a week, it's gone. Like, so that neem oil is pretty amazing if you have an eczema, because I'm going to call it an eczema. I don't know what she had going on in her arm. Something got triggered from her moving here and it went away.
Oh, that's great.
So that's pretty powerful.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, let's see if there's I mean, it's also great to keep away pests. So in Arizona, cockroaches are common. So you can like line your house with that or spray it, thin it out and spray it. It's another oil I use too.
I didn't. Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I didn't know that patchouli oil helped protect against UV radiation.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. And it can help reduce anxiety.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. It's really calming. That's what I was saying. If you mix it with lavender at night too, it's put you to sleep.
Now, peppermint oil. I like the I like Altoids because they're a little pepperminty. And I don't see any aspartame or any of that other stuff in there. That's about one of the few mints you can buy that doesn't have aspartame in it now, unless you're going to like a super natural shop or something like that. But peppermint, I think, is great. Now you have
a sample of my peppermint. You've tried my peppermint.
Oh, that's right. I love it.
And you put it directly in your mouth. Remember?
Yeah. Hello. Yeah, that's right. I was like, so wing. Awesome. So, yeah, I think I'm out of it. Actually, I think I took it all. Oh yeah. So you put that stuff in your detox tea.
Say again?
Or you put that in your super detox smoothie.
That's right. Super energizing detox smoothie. That's right. And then you've also tried my eucalyptus. Which is really opening for the sinuses.
Nice. And the rose hydrosol stimulates and elevates the mind, creates a sense of well-being. Used for digestive opportunities, headaches, nervous tension. Geez, there's so much stuff that our ancestors used this stuff for. And I mean, it was for tens of thousands of years. And then now most people know very little about certain oils. And you're so sensitive to these things. Didn't you put some oil on you once that was supposed to be organic, but it was like, it made you sick because it had some toxin in it or something? Wasn't that just a few weeks ago? Like you could feel it.
I'm trying to remember. Well, I'm sensitive that whenever I do come across anything, whether it's a food product or an oil or something that isn't compliant or isn't fully pure, that I do react for sure. And I do break out. I'm trying to remember which one it was. I don't
I
remember.
just remember you told me you had some kind of oil or some kind of spray that either you put on you or got on you, and it was supposed to be organic, and it wasn't. I think it was an oil actually, and you said that you were like it was affecting you for a few days even. You don't remember that?
I can't remember right now. But
Really?
it just, I am really sensitive. So when I do put on something that isn't great, I do react. And also, I wanted to point out the Sandalwood Hydrosol. So I put in my notes there for you, Rex, that sandalwood is something that you normally can't get in America without going to India. And so it's a real treat that I have the Sandalwood Hydrosol, because most sandalwood in America is not really pure sandalwood. So just so your audience knows, because a lot of people don't really realize even the benefits of sandalwood, but if you're doing a lot of spiritual work and meditating, or even if you just want to refresh your skin and cool it off or take away wrinkles, I mean, sandalwood can be used in so many different ways. And so it's a real treat to have that real pure sandalwood hydrosol in my store, just so your audience knows.
Right on. And I would recommend getting the ebook also, because you get the ebook,
Yeah.
you can immediately download it. It's on your computer. You can upload it to the cloud. You can, I mean, you've got access to that anywhere you want to go now, as long as you've got a digital form. You could print it up at home, but go through the recipes, get the ebook, get a few of the oils. And if you want to try yoga, you should definitely sign up for the Zoom class. I mean, it's like $10. And you're such a spiritual person, Gail, that I think what you do is extremely important for the world, and just your own personal testimony and what you've done with your family is that's very, very rare. That is like one in a, I don't even know what the percentage is, but it's very rare. So it's an honor to know you, and it's an honor to speak with you. And I want to let everybody know once again, if you're just getting here to the website, check out Gail's website at rainbowherbals.com, and you can get the ebook for the cookbook. You can check out the remote services, the carrier oils, the sprays, the essential oils, and it's all top of the line. I think it is. I've never, I mean, there might be something better, but I haven't tried it yet.
Well, you've tried it and you like it, so that's awesome. I got
Yeah. Yeah.
your viewers just purchased from another country, and that viewer really is enjoying the rose hydrosol and the peppermint, and is using the peppermint with her daughter. So if that viewer is watching, thank you so much.
Right on. Well, any other words of wisdom you can share with us before we finish up this awesome podcast? And thanks for being a guest on the show.
Well, I would just like to say in closing that I feel really grateful to be here and for you to be my inspiration. I've been wanting to say that the whole show. It just kept going through my mind. It's just when I first saw your show, I was so inspired that I started feeling like empowered that I could do all of this. And you were the one that inspired me and even said to me to open up a YouTube channel. And so just so your audience knows that you influence people so much and you come from the heart so much that it has changed someone like me and has allowed me to break out of my shell and actually come out and talk about all these things I have to offer. So thank you, Rex.
Ah, you're welcome. I'm going to have to open up the door to the van now. My head's getting kind of big. Wow. So cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with us. Hope you have a beautiful day, everybody. Be excellent to each other. And remember to be the change you want to see.
Nanu, nanu. Laugh.